Thank you all once again for joining this Canada Specialist Program webinar. Christie from Calgary Stampede, please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, everybody able to join us today from Australia and New Zealand. As Charlie mentioned, we just wrapped up just over 2 months ago, the 22 edition of the Calgary Stampede, and it was a great year. For this group, it was great because we saw the return of the international guests. So a great year for us to welcome guests back. We saw just 1% below that 4-year average, which is 5% of our guests come to us from international markets. Specifically, Australia this year, it showed up number 3 in our list of destinations, which is great. New Zealand typically is in that top 5 as well. It fell off this year for reasons obvious, but once we see that market and the travel direct flight back, the access, we know we'll see those guests back in 2023. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about overall Stampede experience, the marquee programs and what makes us truly iconic, and a bucket list stop while you're here in Alberta. I'll start with a little bit of history. I have to go forward, start a little bit going backwards. So Stampede 2022 was the 110th Stampede. And 110 years ago, it was started by a fellow named Guy Wiedek. And his story is he's born and raised in Rochester, New York, and he was very captivated by the cowboy lifestyle. He headed out to learn from those real cowboys, and after working on various ranches, he actually joined the Miller Brothers 101 Wild West show, and he literally learned the ropes, becoming a popular trick roper. He then returned to Calgary in the spring of 1912, and he was looking for some financial backing, and he was introduced to some local businessmen, George Lane, Pat Burns, A.J. McLean, and A.E. Cross, who we refer to as the Big Four, as those were the 4 backers to invest in this greatest thing of its kind on earth, which we now call the greatest outdoor show on earth. So as mentioned, this Stampede, we welcomed 1.275 million guests to park, and that is a very high average for us, and actually just 3rd in attendance behind our 2012 Centennial Celebration and 2019. So very happy, and it certainly exceeded our expectations for this year. I'm going to share a bit of a video that brings Guy Wiedek's vision to life, and I'll share 30 seconds or so of that. I will make it available because it does a great job explaining the Calgary Stampede experience.
So, here's the thing. Over 100 years ago, a fellow by the name of Guy Wiedek looked at his pals and said, "I'm gonna put this thing together." Since then, every year in July, things, they started changing. Let me tell you, we get things started. There's things for your family, there's things for your friends, and there's things.
So it does a great job explaining all of those things and the experiences that you'll see during the 10 days in July. So Stampede Park is 208 acres, and it's located in east of downtown. It's walking distance from many of the downtown hotels and very accessible by public transportation. Our C train, which is our light rail transit, has 2 locations here at Park, and we're undergoing some significant construction projects. I'll speak to those a little bit later, but through that, and to support those, we're actually a 3rd station just north of the park called the Green Line, and that's set to open in 2024. So the first iconic and marquee program is the world's largest outdoor rodeo. So our afternoon rodeo is where we celebrate both human and animal athletes over the 10 days, where we award over $1.5 million in prize money. Every afternoon at 1:30, this show kicks off and features those athletes, both human and animal, and as they go into 6 events that are action-packed. It's a display of skill and grit, and of course, a chance to win those bucks. So 6 events being barrel racing, bareback riding, tie-down roping, steer wrestling, saddle bronc, and bull riding. The evening show happens every evening, and it's a unique entertainment feature. It's a double header that takes place every night at 7:45. It begins with the Cowboys Rangeland Derby, chuckwagon racing, and it has 9 heats of 3 chuck wagons each. And it's very high impact, high energy. And that is followed by the relay races, which is another showcase of teamwork and precision and horsemanship. And those teams dressed in traditional regalia. There's 5 Indigenous racing teams who demonstrate their people's connection to the horse in the fast-growing sport of relay racing. This year, we had 4 relay teams from the US and 6 from Canada. And we enhanced the show with dancers and drummers from our Elbow River camp, and which added to the ceremony and sound and excitement of the races. As those pieces finish up, we then transition into the Bell Grandstand show, which is, dazzling our audiences with song and dance and acrobatics, and caps off with a spectacular fireworks finale. I'll talk a little bit more about the chuckwagon races because that is very unique to us, certainly here in Western Canada, but it did start, the sport of chuckwagon racing did start here in Calgary in 1923. Of course, Guy Wiedek, he had this vision and he convinced a number of working ranches to enter their authentic chuck or food wagons and a roundup crew in their very first races. And over the years, obviously the sport has evolved, but we still run the race and invite back 16 drivers to compete each night in the Rangeland Derby. As mentioned, the Grandstand show features highly choreographed dance routines alongside acrobats, extreme athletes, musical headliners, and other amazing performers. This year, we had world-class talent, including multi-Juno award-winning Canadian country music icon, Dean Brody, and of course, our young Canadians at the Calgary Stampede. And this year, we look forward to seeing who we're going to have in our lineup. Those announcements come in the early spring. Elbow River Camp, that's a major part of the Stampede. And since its inception in 1912, it's a great way for visitors to experience the traditions and culture of First Nations, peoples from Treaty 7, Siksika, Piikani, Kainai, Stoney Nakoda, and Tsuut'ina firsthand. Here you'll find 26 teepees and their families to visit, local artisans who sell jewelry and art and all sorts of things, food, bannock, and you'll see traditional dancing and much more. 2 really great programs that happen daily are the interpretive program, where you can tour through the camp with our interpreters and who are members of the Treaty 7 nations, and they share their knowledge and cultures with you. And they show significance of the painted teepees and the skills produced to create the experiences such as outdoor cooking and other traditional arts. The powwow themselves, those are a great invitation to watch and sometimes participate in. Each nation has different varieties of dancing to share with the guests, and many different styles of regalia are worn for each dance. And of course, our Western events in agriculture. This has remained at the heart of the Calgary Stampede since 1886. Here you can experience a combination of demonstrations and hands-on experiences and interaction with the animals, agriculture, and Western history and events. There's a number of different areas within agriculture. We have our barn tours, which are free tours and lively discussions through the ag zone with friendly and knowledgeable guides and volunteers. Activity in the city is where you learn more about the urban-rural connection, farm to fork, experience those hands-on and demonstrations to learn where your food comes from. Horsehaven and Draft Horsetown are 2 areas where you learn family-friendly activities about horse breeds, as well as seeing how those gentle giants played a significant role in shaping the history of the West. There's a full spectrum of agriculture programming to introduce and educate the families to the exciting world of agriculture. Now onto the Midway. Stampede is really well known for its free with admission programming for our guests. And here you'll have the experience from North American Midway, bringing all of their rides. There's about 59 in total that come to the Midway, including a family area, carnival games, and the traditional Midway rides as well. New this year, we actually welcomed a new ride. It's just behind the motorcyclists there and the flames. It was the Super Wheel, and it's a 150-foot wheel. It takes 11 minutes to ride, but a really great vantage point to see not only the park, but all of downtown Calgary. We look forward to bringing that back next year. And food, fan favorite. So every year we seek out the best and most tantalizing foods from all over North America and bring the best of the best to the Midway during Stampede. This is a big media event for us, and this spring it really kicks off the smells and tastes of Stampede for us. So we look forward to seeing what's in the lineup for this year. And of course, shopping. As Ryan mentioned, we have that low sales tax here, a really great way to bring home those traditional souvenirs local crafts, home decor, fashion, it's all here. We have many different areas on park to have those experiences, whether it's the Stampede store, the market, which showcases a number of makers and local vendors, Lamley's Western Wear, which has several locations across park. It's all here for you. So that gives an overview of those experiences, the iconic moments that you can have. I'll talk a little bit now about how we work with the travel trade and the packaging of those products. So I'll be sharing with you guys post an overview in this travel trade planning guide that gives a bit of a synopsis of a lot of our marquee programs and events, but also has our travel trade pricing, which is actually set for 2023. So you can reach out to your preferred wholesaler and they can provide this information for you and how to book. But the rest of our consumer tickets are going on October 3rd. But as I mentioned, these prices are already available. So the main package that we work with our partners on, as it provides the best experience to see both shows, that being the rodeo and the evening show, and from the best seats, is the 2-day thrill package. So you get a main level rodeo seat, a great balcony seat for the evening show, souvenir program, cowboy hat, a tote, and a couple of incremental tickets and offers to do some shopping and have experiences across the park. In addition to the package, we do have single ticket options available as well. Here's a look at some of the seating sections and zones. You'll see the lower level there for rodeo and the upper level for the evening show. And then here down below is a great visual. So the grandstand seating, which does host both the rodeo and the evening show. The venue itself, I should say, also for rodeo hosts about 15,000 fans. You can't see, we're standing on the side that would have the infield seating, and then it hosts 13,000 guests for the evening show. There's great seats that provide options from cover too, so sun or rain, and still have really great sight lines for both the shows. Year round. So there's 355 other days of the year and the Stampede is open and we welcome guests all year round. So the art walk, we have 13 park features on. They have including mural, sculpture across park. The most notable, it's in the center here, is By the Banks of the Bow, which features 15 horses and 2 cowboys and is one of the largest pieces of art in North America. There's a couple of ways that you can view those. You can do a self-guided tour, and you can also book through Calgary walks and bus tours, which is noted there. Sound Center, this is exciting. This is coming online. It's an engaging and highly interactive series of experiences that's going to invite our guests to explore the histories, the people, and the stories of the Calgary Stampede. It's going to showcase the diverse and captivating, entertaining sides of us and feature the people who really made us the greatest outdoor show on earth. The Sound Center is going to be opening in Q4 of 2023. So right now there's a great hole in the ground, but we know it's going to be a great experience for our guests who come outside of those 10 days. And then lastly, in that development piece for year round is the BMO Center. So we already have a trade and convention facility, and this is an expansion of that. It's a $500 million expansion, and it's going to add new event and meeting space to create a tier 1 convention center, and it will make us the largest convention center in Western Canada with over 100,000 square feet. So these last 2 slides are a series of insider tips, and you can, review things from where to find a traditional pancake breakfast, how to access park, insight on hotel inventory and what to wear, as Ryan mentioned, those Alberta boots. But this will send through some information for you as I do my follow-up as well. So there we are, July 7th to 16th, 2023, and also the 2024 dates, the 5th to the 14th. So we're looking forward to welcoming you back. And as I mentioned, tickets are already set for travel trade. Consumer tickets are going on sale on the 3rd, but with questions, just reach out to your preferred wholesaler and they'll be able to connect you with the products.